Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning into another episode of the Dumpster Diaries Podcast. I am your host, Justin Allen, and this is yet another rant that I'm going to do with you guys, man. Experimenting, doing a little solo work. Something Moses and I talked about for quite a while, and you guys like some of the rants I go on, so here you go. We're doing it again. But I want to take this moment to remind you guys that in the description below, we have links to our Patreon and merch store as well. So the merch is sick. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't lie to you guys. It is made with the finest child labor force you could ever ask for in China. So go ahead and do what's right, man. If you enjoy the show, get on there, buy a t-shirt, buy a beanie, buy a hoodie, whatever it may be. I wear them. Moses wears them. We know a few people that have bought, so it's pretty good stuff, man. So if you like the show and you support us, go ahead and check it out. And especially if you like the show, for $1 a month, you can get access to our Patreon account. And our Patreon account, I'm going to go ahead and give you forewarning, is about to get dumped with a lot of content, like a lot that we cannot put on YouTube. We cannot put on Instagram. We can't put it anywhere else. Maybe X, but X is a little scary these days. But if you like the show, check out our Patreon. You won't be disappointed. But I don't know. What do I want to talk about today, man? This is where something that I've been kind of like thinking about for a little while. Like, what's the topic for discussion? Like, what are we going to get into today? And I think what I really want to talk about, and we have covered it on an episode before, but there's just something not right with this. But I want to talk about these drones, man. The drones. Okay? All up and down our East Coast, man. They're flying all over the place. What the fuck is going on with those damn drones, man? You know? The government's like, we don't know what it is, but don't shoot it down. Okay. Anybody actually believe that for 2 seconds? Something's going on, you know? And so the truth is, the matter of basically looking at the facts is one or two things are very apparent to me. Either one, the government is actually that incompetent and cannot defend our own domestic airspace. Unlikely, but is a possibility. Or two, they know exactly what the fuck is going on and they don't want to tell us. Now, why wouldn't they want to tell us? I don't know. I've heard rumors to Project Blue Beam, aliens, you name it, left, right, and center. I've heard the most wild shit about it. What do I think it is? I think it's two things, man. Two real possibilities. And this goes a throwback to that Las Vegas bomber. You know, if you haven't taken the time to read into that guy's story, you need to. Check out the Sean Ryan show. That guy wasn't crazy, man. The guy was not crazy. He knew some shit was up with these drones, man. These UAPs, as the government likes to call them. You know? That man said he was basically trying to be a whistleblower, and he tried to get his story out and nobody would listen. So he decided to take matters into his own hands and make motherfuckers listen. And then, you know, from what I can tell, it's being swept under the rug like another goddamn conspiracy once again. Ladies and gentlemen, seems to be the go-to play for the American government. But he says it's not aliens. Well, he said he's dead. Allegedly, there's some speculation that that man could actually still be alive, which would be the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my life, personally. Talk about one hell of a reverse Uno card. Fucking Jason Bourne popping out of the woodworks, man. But he says that it's not aliens. It's actually us and the Chinese. That is a piece of technology that we've mastered called gravitics. And for those of you who don't know, gravitics, by all modern standard physics, doesn't exist. It can't. But gravitics is the ability to, oh shit. They might just be listening right now. Gravitics is the ability to harness and control the power of gravity. And that's why these craft don't have any heat signatures. They can seemingly, and for those of you who know anything about gravity, it warps space and time. space and time. It's how these things can go from 80,000 feet above sea level to 50 feet above sea level in the blink of an eye. You know? Gravitics is something you can't find in any college textbook because it is something out of science fiction. It's not possible. Or is it? Because the shit we've been seeing for a while says different. Now, you could get into the whole aspect of, are they manned craft? Are there people inside of these aircraft? I don't know. I don't think so. Just the sheer force of traveling, what we know about aeronautics and physics tells us that if there was a human in one of those things, they would be liquefied. But the Las Vegas bomber said that it's only us and the Chinese that have it. And the Chinese are actually launching these things from submarines out of the Atlantic Ocean and essentially using it as a show of force. Now, the thing about this type of technology and these craft that we see flying is dangerous. Because if there is truth to this, then it's game over. It's the ultimate checkmate in warfare. Like I've said before, those sneaky Chinamans are always up to no good. And it seems like they might got some shit we need to be worried about. Now, one thing I am excited about with the upcoming president coming in, hell, by the time this comes out, he might already be in office. If they don't try to take him out yet again, fuck, is he said that day one he's going to tell the American people what the truth is about these drones. And what's interesting about these drones on the East Coast, these ones specifically, is some of them have aspects to them, characteristics that we saw off the Nimitz with Commander David Fravor, Ryan Graves catching those on their F-18s. But then some of them have more traditional drone-like aspects. So who knows? Maybe we're responding to a Chinese threat. I don't know. But as I've always said on this show, man, what is done in the dark will come to the light. And I think we are on the cusp of getting some hard truths, ladies and gentlemen. And I think the old Don ain't fucking around anymore. But me personally, I want it to be aliens. I mean, fuck, dude. E.T. sounds cool. I saw that movie, Paul, and I was like, holy shit, man, I want a fucking alien. Those guys seem cool. Knowing the way things go around here, probably some Independence Day shit, you know what I mean? Then I would have to reassess my opinion on aliens. But I'm optimistic. If it is aliens, what do they want? Are we just a bunch of ants on an anthill they don't even care about? Are they observing? Is it like some Star Trek shit where they can't interfere with a developing society? Who knows? But my thing is if that technology, gravitics, does actually exist, if it is actually real, which I think it is, I believe that it is. I mean, there's no evidence to support the contrary with me. I know physicists, friends with them, and they've looked at some of this footage that's been released to the public, that is in the public domain. And they all say, that shit ain't possible. Well, we're living in a time, a day and age, when the impossible is becoming possible. I've often said that the greatest force that the universe has ever seen is a man's will. If you can think it, if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. And that is true. That is true. So with gravitics, if this is a real technology, it needs to be released to the public. It does. I consider it to be a crime against humanity. Because it's hard to wrap your head around how dramatically changed society would be. Planes wouldn't be a thing anymore. Cars, combustion engines, those go all out the windows. Rockets, all of that shit, fuck Mars. We're going to the Andromeda galaxy. You know? Is it possible? I don't know. We're living in strange times. We've been in strange times. It's getting stranger. But now there's so much scrutiny on what people do and say, especially our elected officials. It's getting real fucking hard to keep secrets around here. A lot of people are looking a little nervous these days, rightfully so. Rightfully so. But we'll see. I don't know. The incoming administration doesn't seem to be fucking around. They're not fucking around. They're ironing some shit out. Putting some shit out in the open. Shit we have a right to know, ladies and gentlemen. A right to know. But, who knows? Often the most simplest answer is the answer. It's more than likely it's new technology. Maybe the Chinese have it. Maybe it's just us. Maybe it's both of us. Who knows? And that's probably what the case is. But we'll see. I am excited, though. That is interesting. It's scary. It's scary. The term, first time I've heard it in a long time being thrown around, mutually assured destruction was a term that the Vegas bomber actually used in an email where he sent out where he tried to be a whistleblower. He said the American people had a right to know. The world had a right to know. Now, he made allegations of the United States committing war crimes with this technology. I don't know anything about that. Wouldn't be fucking surprised. Who knows? I mean, if you think that's not a possibility, these are the same people that smuggled in cocaine, ladies and gentlemen, in the 80s and sold it and caused the crack epidemic that ruined millions of people's lives. Still to this day affects people. For the younger listeners, back in the day, the CIA had the nickname Crack in America. They had to raise that money, fund those Contra wars. My favorite president, Ronald Reagan, turned a little blind eye. Hell, maybe he knew, maybe he didn't know. I don't know. I like Reagan. Seemed like a good guy. Didn't like everything he did, but take what you get. But I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, these drones are... Who knows? Maybe it could be a simple answer. Maybe it could just be Amazon and Temu at war with each other. That'd be a hell of a sight, right? Amazon and Temu engaging in open warfare with the use of drones on American soil. Jeff Bezos gets a Medal of Honor, some shit like that. Who knows? I don't know. Fuck it, give him a Medal of Freedom. Seem to be passing those out like candy these days. But we need to get to the bottom of that because all jokes aside, you got aircraft in your airspace that it's not yours. That's not good, man. It's not good. More than likely, it's just surveillance. But who knows? Who knows? One thing that had me concerned was the Las Vegas bomber was talking about the weapons payload that some of these aircraft can deliver is insane. His exact words were they could park them over the White House in the blink of an eye and there's nothing we could do to stop them. Explains a lot why we've been kind of cool with the Chinese here recently. Yeah, I might talk some shit, put on a dog and pony show, but at the end of the day, nothing's fucking happening between us and them. Probably because we know we can fuck each other up. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. Nobody wants that shit. I've said it here before and I'll say it again. The sneaky, sneaky Chinamans are up to no good, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about the real Chinese here. I'm not talking about Chinese Americans. Those guys are cool. Really talking about the CCP, really, if you want to get down to it. It's communist cocksuckers, as I like to call them. God, China seems like a place to suck. You know, I was in China one time and it was fucking horrible. I was there for like a day. Oh, fuck me, man. First assumption of that, initial impression, not a place I want to go back to. Okay? Out of the 28 countries I've been to, China is one of the worst. I was living just outside of Seoul, South Korea. I wanted to come back to America for a little while to visit some friends and family. So I hopped on a plane. Hopped on a plane. Back then I had basically no money, so I got the cheapest flight I could find, which put me through Beijing, China. Said, all right. Plane takes off late. I missed my connecting flight. I'm stuck in Beijing, China. Little unexpected vacation, so to speak. Now, I'll tell you this. I had to go through their security and check in and stuff like that and all yada, 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 equivalent to their TSA. Them guys ain't fucking around. I kept a lot of my other identification stuff. They didn't need to see secret. Hid it as well as I could. They didn't need to know who I was and what I was doing. One thing I noticed, though, is during their random screenings for security checks, who do you think they pulled out of that line? Ding, ding, ding. This guy. It was me, a couple of Brits, a few Australians, mostly travelers, backpackers. You know, the kind of guys that stay in hostels and try to trade in crypto to get rich, I guess. I don't fucking know what they do or how they finance that shit, but they seem to keep going with it. So who the fuck am I to say anything or talk shit, right? It's Chinese digging my ass in Beijing. And I'm like, fuck, I've missed my flight. Bye-bye Delta Airlines. So I'm like, fuck, what do I do? So I got to walk through this entire massive fucking airport, right? No one speaks my fucking language. There isn't shit in English. What the fuck? I am getting stares, man. Stares. I am getting looked at like a piece of meat. And to put this in perspective, Donald Trump had only been president for about a year. So go back in time there. Let's just say tensions weren't all that good between the United States and China. China. I finally find a station, little kiosk thing that is for Delta Airlines. There's one dude that works there. He doesn't speak any fucking English, maybe like 5 words of it. But he was a nice guy nonetheless, right? He tried to help me. Gets me on a phone that looked like it came from a Motel 6 from 1989. And I'm sitting here talking to this fucking guy in America on this landline. It's cracking up. I can barely hear him. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And at this point, I'm pissed. I've been in this fucking airport a lot longer than I expected, and I don't want to be in fucking China. So this gentleman, I think his name was Dave, actually, on the other end of the phone, literally halfway around the world, asked me. Well, first he apologizes, and then he tells me, would you be okay with staying in a hotel for the night? And we'll get you on the first flight out of there the next morning. You have to stay in Beijing. My exact words, at this point, I was pissed off. Maybe I could have acted a little better. Maybe I could have been more polite. But I just looked around this massive airport that's basically made out of glass, and I could just see the smog outside. And I look deep within myself. And I talked to Dave on the phone. My exact words were, dude, have you ever been to fucking China? Get me out of here, man. No says I. That shit is not my cup of tea, my man. So he kind of laughs and he works some fucking magic and he's like, well, if you can sit there for 16 hours, I can get you out of there. So what do you think Justin Allen did for 16 fucking hours sat in a goddamn airport in Beijing, China? I got to give it to him. Delta Airlines got me out of there in one piece. Fuck China. I don't know. Maybe we get our hands on some of those gravitic drones, man. Maybe that won't be a problem in the future. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, China was not a fun time. I have no intention of ever returning back to that godless place. You see what I did there? It's a pretty good play on words, by the way. But we'll see. I don't know. You know, we got the new president. I'm optimistic. I'm hoping for the best, but not going to be surprised if some crazy shit happens. Maybe some crazy shit needs to happen. A course correction. Change the tide. Go there. Slap that big dick energy down one good time. Let them know what's up. I don't know. Maybe if that drone technology does exist and it comes out and it gets put into the private sector, Amazon can go back to their 2-day shipping. That'd be fucking cool. The whole reason I got an Amazon Prime account was because of that shit. During COVID, they did away with it, took advantage of it, never reinstated the shit. Now it takes me like a week to get anything. But that's America. Bitching not having 2-day shipping. I know my privilege. I get it. But I choose to live here for a reason. And the reason is shit like 2-day shipping. Now I like to think that Jeff Bezos is probably trying to take out Temu using drone warfare on the East Coast. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. But I don't know. We'll see. He seems a little busy right now. Maybe once he gets done handling those sneaky Chinamans, maybe we can handle that 2-day shipping. That'd be nice. It's the America we all deserve to live in, ladies and gentlemen. It is our capitalist, imperialist right to get the things that I order online within 48 hours to my house. But I also live in a rural community, so that probably has a lot to do with it. Fuck it, who knows? But yeah, these drones, man, I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. All jokes aside, pretty fucking alarming, you know? Might want to look into that. But the government's been real fucking quiet about that shit. I don't know. What could it be? We'll see. Maybe all it takes is one of these motherfucking superpowers to get a little froggy and drop off a fucking missile somewhere before we start actually doing what we need to do. I don't know. We'll see. Am I scared? Nah. As fans of the show, you probably know that I worked heavily with the Department of Defense's weapon stockpiles. I'm pretty fucking familiar with what we got and what we don't got. Actually, at one point, I could tell you there was an entire region of the world that I had access to, and I knew exactly down to every bullet what we had and what we didn't have. Because part of my job was making sure the right people got the right shit in the right amount of time. I'll tell you now, folks, you see that inventory one good time, a lot of your worries go away real quick. We got some good shit. We got some smart shit. I'm not worried. But I do want answers. We all deserve answers, man. Why do we keep electing the cocksuckers that lie to us? Non-fucking stop, man. It's annoying. Hold these bitches accountable. But we'll see. I don't know, you know. The executive branch is going to be controlled by the Republicans, and so is the legislative branch. And you look, they have control in our courts as well. If there was ever a time to do radical change in the government, now is it, is all I'm saying. And anybody who fucked with the Dawn, I'd be real fucking nervous right about now. Because your ass is grass, and he is the fucking lawnmower. But we'll see. I don't know. It is government after all, and you know my opinions on the matter with that shit. While it is necessary in some aspects, it needs to be trimmed down a lot. We got fat. We got to shed some of that fat. You know? A lot of waste. A lot of bullshit going on, too. But I think all that's about to end. It's going to hurt, that's for sure. A lot of people aren't going to be happy. A lot of jobs are probably going to be jeopardized, that's for fucking sure. And considering that the federal government employs about 1 out of 11 workers in America today, yeah, this is a fucking serious conversation, you know? Because even though, you know, my views on government in general and stuff like that, but a lot of people that I know, members of the right, Republicans typically, sometimes libertarians. Libertarians are the interesting ones. They always advocate for just basically ripping out the government, making it smaller and smaller, as small as possible. And while I do think that is necessary in some aspects, the reality is that much change in such a short amount of time is going to be felt in more ways than one. It's not as simple as cutting down our spending. These are American citizens who work for the American government. They have families, they have homes, they have car notes, all this shit. They have retirements they have to worry about. Some of these people may be close to retiring, maybe within just 5 years of being done, and they might just have the rug ripped out from underneath them. So anytime that I've talked about trimming down the government, taking away bullshit spending, don't think that I am not aware of what would happen. But it is necessary. But it's not my job to figure that out. It's not. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I have ideas. But one thing I will tell you this is all these people, all this money, all these taxes, all this unaccounted money, the trillions of dollars that are unaccounted for, and you can't tell me what the fuck those drones are? Like, what the fuck are we spending our money on, dude? Are you that incompetent? The level of incompetency is criminal at this point. Fucking criminal. You can't tell me where fucking over $2 trillion went, but goddamn, if I get $600 in my Cash App, the IRS needs to fucking dig in my shit. Go fuck yourself. It's almost like they're trying to make us the bad guys. Maybe somebody just needs to remind them who the fuck they actually work for. I don't know. But we'll see. I am optimistic. Point of this episode, though, is those damn drones, man. We got to figure that out. Making me feel uneasy. You know, just to tell you, you know, I heard rumors in the shadows when I was in the military. I heard rumors in the shadows of these encounters, of these things. I knew a lot of pilots, man. Still do. Most of them wouldn't say shit because they didn't want to seem like they were crazy. I don't know. Maybe we should have listened more. Because goddamn it, dude. If those sneaky Chinamans got that shit, we're in for a fucking rough ride, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. See something, say something, man. You got to let people speak up, especially some of the people that are so trustworthy, smart, trained, well-disciplined. If you've never met a fucking fighter pilot, dude, come on. That is like the most American shit you could ever ask for. They're pretty fucking stand-up people. They're not crazy. They're highly educated, highly fucking trained, physical shape. Mental health is good. All that shit is good. It's the best fucking goddamn witness you could ever ask for. Maybe we should pay attention to what those guys are talking about. Maybe we should have been listening. I don't know. But the most important matter is getting my goddamn 2 days shipping back.